chapter 1, verses 1 through 11 first, and also be 19 through 20 as well for right now. Our theme that our First Lady gave me was touching God through prayer. Last Sunday. And I think so that'll basically go through what Hannah did. Hannah, that goes really good with Hannah, touching God through prayer.
Amen.
Because she was very faithful, and she knew that when she just to pray, that that God will give her what she needed, because she had the faith of that happening. So the 1 Samuel chapter 1 verses 1 through 11 first. I'll start reading it through the New King James. Now there was a certain man of Romanium, Zalpolium, of the mountains of Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jehoram, the son of Elihu, and the son of Toho, and the son of Zu, and Elepharite. Thank you. And he had 2 wives. The name of one of his wives was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. This man went from the city yearly to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. Also the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni, and Phinehas, the priest of the Lord, were there. And whenever the time came for Elikai to make an offering, he would give to make any offering. He would give portions to Peninnah, his wife, and to all her sons and daughters. But to Hannah he would give a double portion, for he loved Hannah through the Lord, and had closed her womb. And her rival also provoked her severely to make her miserable, because the Lord had closed her womb. So it was year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, that she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. Then Elkanah, her husband, said to her, Hannah, why do you weep? Why do you not eat? And why is your heart aggrieved? Am I not better to you than 10 sons? So Hannah arose after they had finished eating and drinking in Shiloh. Now Eli, the priest, was sitting up on the seat by the doorpost of the tabernacle of the Lord, and she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed to the Lord, and wept in anguish. And then she made a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if you will indeed look on the affection of your maidservant, and remember me, and not forget your maidservant, but will give your maidservant a male child, and then I will give him, the Lord, all the things of his life, and no razor shall come upon his head. That was 1 Samuel chapter 1 through 11. And I'm also going to go to the next verse, 19 through 20. It says, Then they arose early in the morning and worshipped before the Lord, and returned and came to their house at Ramah, and Elkanah knew Hannah, his wife, and the Lord remembered her. And so it came to pass in the process of time that Hannah conceived and bore a son, and called his name Samuel, saying, Because I have all asked for him for the Lord. that was I really liked that a lot because she had knowing she couldn't have children, especially just looking at his other wife, and it's very discouraging for her.
Amen.
Because she had to really think like, wow, she can have children. She had, and her husband, with her, they had a couple of sons and daughters, and it was kind of discouraging for her because she had to see that all the time. That you have those kids, but I can never have a kid. But she still had the faith. She had faith that what I know I can. I'm just gonna leave it up to the Lord and He can give it to me.
Yes.
So that's what she did. She one day she just went to the Lord. She her husband's kind of worried for her and asked her, why are you weeping? Why are you why you're not eating? Why are your heart so grieved and why you're so sad? And am I not enough for you? Yeah. And she she rose up and she's like, okay, and just kind of like lift heart and go, what, I can't feel sorry for myself in a way. Yeah. Which nowadays we do. We come up feeling sorry for ourselves but it's always good to lift ourselves up and be, what, I can do this. I can move on from my troubles. Yes. So what Hannah did was that she started eating and drinking again. And it's one day, but she still had bitterness in her soul, about everything and that she couldn't have any children. It really hurt her a lot. So she went up to the Lord and just really, with all her heart, with all her heart, she prayed to the Lord and said, just remember me, and please just let me conceive a child, a male child is that. She wanted a male child. Yes. And, as being, your servant and the Lord is serving you, just give me my male child that she wants and she desires. And then she told him, kind of like a promise that she gave to the Lord. Yes. That if you do that for me, that I'll give my son to you. For all the days of his life, I'll give it to you, and I will never put a razor to his head. Wow. So that's what she said that she'll do. And then, as you saw in 1920, God heard her. She knew a faithful servant. God will hear you if you're a faithful servant, and and you're like she said, I'm the maid's servant. I serve you. Yes. I praise you. I'm there for you. And and He heard her prayer and everything, knowing that of course they probably didn't have doctors per se, but knowing that she knew that she couldn't have any children, but she knew that God could do everything. Yes. God will do anything for you because she had faith. She had that strong faith that God would do it. Yes. God will do anything for you if you're a servant to Him and faithful to Him. Yes. And so He gave her what she wanted. Yes. She gave her the male son that she wanted, and she was so happy about that. And also in Samuel 1, I had to read the chapter 2, 1 through 2. It will show you how grateful and praised that she was. Just turn to me the Samuel 1, chapter 2, verses 1 through 2. It reads, Hannah prayed and said, my heart rejoices to the Lord. My horn is exalted in the Lord. I smile at my enemies because I rejoice in your salvation. No one is holy like the Lord, for there is none besides you, nor is there a rock like our God. And that's true. There's no one like the Lord. Yes. That that can do that for you. No other people worship all these other gods or anything like that. The Lord is the only one that can actually do and see your heart and see what you really want. Yes. And he saw, and she said, I will always give the voices or praise. I will exalt you. Yes. Exalt myself to you. And she'll smile at her enemies. Yes. She's not gonna let her enemies come and make her down or make her feel bad or anything. She's gonna always, just look at them. You know what? Just smile at them and say, how you doing? That's what we have to do. Sometimes just smile at your enemies and say hi, even though they mean harm on you. Yes. You have to do that sometimes. And, I believe it's hard. Hard to do that, but you have to just smile at your enemies and keep on moving. Yes. And so she just basically, she just kept on worshiping him and thank God for him. and she understands that no one is holy than him. No one stands above him but the Lord, and but her God is her rock. So that really, when I read that, that really kind of touched me and myself, is that I had to keep the faith. I know there's so many times in our lives that we go through and that we're just, down about stuff. But, I always come to myself that I need to keep the faith. And know that, because I'm a servant to him, that if I just ask him, whatever I want in my heart, that he'll give it to me. It might be, and not be at the time that I wanted, because, like God says that God, He's on His own time, He's not in our time. But I know that if I just keep on being a servant to Him, and keep on praying and keep on fasting and do what I need to do, then the Lord will hear my heart and know what I want. What I want. Great. Truly.
Amen.
So that was the message I have today.
Amen. Thank God.
Thank God for that. I thank God for